Day 62. It's actually May 21st. We started on March 21st. So today's actually our calendar 2-month anniversary. And we were wondering where we would be on this day. And we're in Shenandoah National Park at mile 900. Nibbles is getting some water, and we have been in the national park now for 2 days. It's been kind of uneventful. There's some cool stuff in here. The Skyline Drive just runs right along with the park, and trails are pretty nice. Challenging as always, but we've been able to accomplish 20s. I'm sitting on this nice big tree, and we stopped a couple days ago, and after my last video we stopped in the town of Waynesboro, which is a super cool town. I'll have to talk about that a little bit later. Anyhow, here we are, mile 900. Just thought we'd say what's up. So just a recap of the 800s. The 800s were a great set of miles. I would highly recommend to anybody who is hiking the trail to at least make it through the 800s. So it's right around the end of the 700s. We stopped in Glasgow, Virginia, and we stayed at Stanimals. And before that, it had rained 4 days straight. So we dried out there, and it was kind of a crappy week. We all kind of had the blues a little bit. Stanimals was really nice in Glasgow. It was a great place to kind of become reinvigorated. We just Nero'd there, picked up a couple things at the Dollar General, ate like a half gallon of ice cream, had a couple light beers, slept pretty well, and then got up the next day and got back on trail. And then we quickly crossed, just a few miles in, I think 5 miles in, after Glasgow, something like that, we crossed into 800. And 800 was pretty sweet. We had great weather, which I can't always guarantee you. The mountains were pretty scenic, coming out of Glasgow all the way up until you get to the Shenandoahs. Everybody but me saw bears, rattlesnakes, black snakes. I only saw the black snake. I didn't see a rattlesnake or a bear. I still haven't seen a bear. Everyone's seen a bear at this point, I think. Let's see. And then we went into the town of Waynesboro and stayed at Stanimals again. Stanimal owns, they own 2 hostels, one in Glasgow, which is a really, really tiny little town, and then they own one in Waynesboro, which is the friendliest town on the AT. And we just had a heck of a time there. We stayed there. We Nero'd and zeroed, and stayed, watched the Game of Thrones finale. But we also, there's a great pizza joint downtown. Stanimals is right downtown, so you can walk to all the restaurants. We hit that ridiculous Chinese buffet, and it's a legit Chinese joint. So yes, everyone says you have to go there. I'm gonna fall on that train or jump on that train and say yes, you should go to Ming's Garden. It's quite the memorable place. And if you are a hiker, they put you in this funny, like they have this section that's almost like a party section that's kind of cut off from the rest of the restaurant. And it's a huge restaurant. They have a huge buffet, and they even have like a walk section where you can kind of pick out your stuff and have them grill it up for you. Desserts, ice cream, all the good stuff. So we just had a really great time in Waynesboro, and that would be an easy town to get sucked into and stay in for quite a few days. I don't think we've had, like, the last really memorable town was probably Hot Springs, which is a lot smaller. Waynesboro is like a full-scale town. You can walk to the Walmart grocery store from Stanimals, which is sweet. It's just nice to be able to walk downtown, and there are a lot of trail angels in town. And it's crazy because you get off at this place called Rockfish Gap, which is the gap of where the Blue Ridge Parkway, which I live on a town in the Blue Ridge Parkway, that's where it ends. So it's funny because the Blue Ridge Parkway ends at Rockfish Gap, and the Skyline Drive starts there, heading north. So it's pretty awesome to actually see that point. And the AT is right there. It pops right in, right at that gap where one ends and the other begins, and that's where you get picked up for Waynesboro. There's all kinds of trail angels. There's flyers like these at the shelters, and like right before you get to town, there are these flyers that are laminated that have all the numbers. So you just take a picture and give somebody a call. But we had a huge breakfast at, I can't remember the name of the place. I'll remember it now. I don't want to screw it up. A great breakfast place in town too. So we crushed a huge breakfast there as well. Only good things to say. Anyway, now we're in the Shenandoahs, and they have been allergy ridden. I've been blowing my nose a lot, or clearing out my nose a lot, I should say. And the hiking's been really nice. 20 miles is all we're doing today. But there, from the entrance at Rockfish Gap, there's like a shelter every pretty much 20 miles. So we've been hiking to those. And this is day 2. As far as forest goes, it's not really the most impressive forest. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it looks like it's been cut. Although these trees look like they could be 50, 60 years old. It's just kind of messy. Not like a super impressive forest, but with time and protection, it being a national park, I'm sure it'll end up becoming a real gem. So if you watch this 200 years from now, we're right at we just passed mile 900. We're climbing over a mountain. So anyway, have a nice day. So 2 other places that are worth mentioning that we passed in the 800s. Obviously, Devil's Backbone Brewery. That's a really kind of nice place. It's almost got that like winery feel to it, which is pretty cool. Nice place to camp, nice showers. I think if you watch the last video, that was where we were. It was at Devil's Backbone. And then that's just one day before Waynesboro. So you hit all these good things. You hit Glasgow, and then a couple days go by and you hit Waynesboro. And the other place that we hit too is that the national park here has what are called camp stores, and they have wayside, I believe they're called wayside stations, which the wayside stations are actually for the Skyline Drive, but outside of them are the camp stores. And we passed our first camp store today, which was awesome. We bought a pack of there's a grill, but you have to hike down to the wayside station, which was 0.6 of a mile away. But anyway, at the camp store, they have all the sodas, treats, and just, regular freezer ice cream. They also have a milkshake machine that was down. It apparently is on some kind of complex computer system. So anyway, we stopped in there, bought a pack of hot dogs and a pack of buns, and just stood there at their microwave and cooked them and ate them. It's pretty awesome. So that's what we did today for lunch. It's always nice to eat some hot dogs. I know that sounds gross, but my regular meal consists of a North side, which are delicious, and like tuna and some pepperoni. That's pretty much what I eat for dinner every night. And what I don't eat, I either save for the next day via tortilla by making like a little burrito, or I just eat it. You have to eat it. You don't have anywhere you can just throw out a bunch of food. So it's always nice to mix up some food a little bit. So yeah, 2 other things in the 800s that made the 800s very enjoyable. Deli hiking in every sense of the word.